Thomas, when I picture doubting Thomas, I see him just as a realist.
Okay.
And he's like, come on. Hey, guys, I love Jesus. I was a disciple of him. I followed him. But come on. I watched him. You watched him. He watched him.
Yeah.
On the cross. Boys and children and women of all ages, hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cardia.
I am Nanny Fine.
Nanny Fine, and this here is Frank. The gang's all here and ready to go, ready to start the week.
But not to talk to any men.
What?
Women, children.
No, I said boys and children and women of all ages.
Where's the men?
Wait, no, boys and children and girls of all ages.
Where's the men?
The boys.
Oh, boys, okay.
The normal thing is boys and
girls.
Girls.
And
okay. Boys, girls, women of boys, girls, children of all ages.
Okay.
And I said a little joke through in there. Boys, children,
women of all ages. Women of the ages.
It's like the one group we're not going to discriminate based on age.
All right. Thank you.
You know, boys.
Because I'm every woman.
Okay.
Whitney Houston. That's a song.
Okay. But yeah.
I'm every woman. It's all
I thought that was
me.
Climb Every Mountain.
Why
did I hear that? No, you might be right, but I don't listen to old music. And I was Climb Every Mountain.
I think she does sing a song about climbing a mountain.
Maybe I'm mixing the two up.
Yeah, I think we are. Let's just get on with it.
Get on with it.
Go on to Bell. Let's talk. It's Canadian, but who cares?
I care.
Bell, I believe, is like Bell Telephone. We used to have it.
Alexander Graham Bell?
Yeah. Like when I grew up, my Aunt Frances worked. I'm Fran Fine from The Nanny. That's who I was.
Oh.
My Aunt Frances worked for Bell Telephone, and I'm guessing Canada still is called, their national telephone system is still called Bell. I don't know, because it says Bell. If you go on Bell, it's the Canadian phone. But there's something called Bell Let's Talk. So if you want to go look at it on Instagram, don't go to just the Bell page. Go to Bell Let's Talk.
Okay.
And today, if you make a phone call, if you text, they give 5 cents to mental health initiatives.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happens if you call? Does it say, boom, 5 cents?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I'm not in Canada, but what you can do as someone who's not in Canada is they have a YouTube page, Bell Let's Talk. If you watch the video, it's only 1 minute and it has like famous Canadians in it. Okay. I didn't see Justin Bieber. He's probably not cooperating.
Yeah, he's probably invited to the powwow, the Canadian powwow.
Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok. If you go on there and watch this 1 minute video and so when I went on before the show, they had 75 million interactions.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. 5 cents each time. So it's January 26th, Bell Let's Talk About It Day. And as for mental health, it says keep sharing, keep talking. So when you're going through something, the worst thing you can do is to isolate yourself.
Yes. Keep talking. Call that number. Get 5 cents. That'll go back to you if you seek help.
Right. If you're Canadian. If you're American.
Can you still call it? I can call a Canadian right now.
But you're not going to be able to get any mental health services.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. So it goes to Canadian mental health services.
Yeah.
You never said that part.
Oh, I thought it was self-explanatory.
I don't know if it was international. There's like an international help line.
I wish there was, but I don't think there is.
Okay.
But maybe.
So we shouldn't call them. Donate 5 cents to American.
There isn't anything. Like I'm happy to help, and I hope that America learns from Canada and says, let's us do something like that.
Maybe get free healthcare while we're at it.
Yeah. It's not free. They pay taxes, they're paying taxes so they get healthcare.
We pay taxes so we get bombs and tanks.
Right. We pay taxes. We don't get healthcare. Yeah. So it's never free for anyone, including us. All right. So we're over Bell Telephone Day.
Yeah, I've heard enough about the old Bell telephones, especially once I learned it was Canadian.
Canada is just like us. It's the memorial of Saints Timothy and Titus.
No, you know what? They're not.
They are. They're not. English immigrants who settled a different country.
I was on TikTok and
literally we're related to them.
I was on TikTok, and as far as a lot of the world goes, there's been a sort of shift in the big bad wolf of the world, which was America.
Okay.
And I'm not a patriot. What is it, like, beyond a patriot? Patriot sounds like normal.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Super fan?
nationalist.
A fanboy?
Is it a nationalist where you...
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Where it's like, America, everything. But, put some respect on my name. And it's always been the joke that Canadians are Americans, like little brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I was seeing on TikTok Canadian guys just making jokes, and they were like passing the Canadian immigration test. And then it was a lot of like, what's one thing you never want to get confused with? It's like an American. And I'm like,
that's just rivalry across the border. But we in particular...
if I was the president, we'd invade after that one TikTok.
We in particular, as Irish Americans, are most likely related to people in Canada because they were coming to Canada while
it's closer.
Our people were coming.
Right.
And I have on my side some migration that came from northern Midwestern United States down to Philadelphia. And so did they
Went
come
a long way?
Yeah, did they come from Canada?
Let's hope not.
I doubt you'd come from the sea, cross into the Midwest, and then come.
What if they went to Russia, then crossed the what's that connection point?
The Bering Straits.
The Bering Strait.
I made that up.
No, it was frozen over for a while, and that's how like the Native Americans
right.
are able to migrate. Bering Strait sounds right.
Okay,
let's go with it. And then so they went to Russia, or when they went to Asia, then they went to Russia, then they came down Russia, Bering Strait to Alaska, to Canada, to the United States.
I don't think we were missing long enough for that to have happened because
around the world in 80 days.
Basically, we were in Ireland and then we were in America. There wasn't too much missing time there.
I don't know.
Maybe they could some snowshoes and some husky dogs. Maybe they did. I don't know.
That wouldn't really help you getting through Asia, but I see where your head's at.
Yeah, it's the memorial of Saints Timothy and Titus.
Saint Timothy and Titus.
They have to
boys.
share the day.
Timothy and Titus. They did a lot together. Were they with Paul?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds about right.
They were Paul's helpers.
Boys.
Yeah. Timothy spent 15 years with Paul, one of his most faithful and trusted friends, difficult missions. He was pretty young and somewhat timid.
Timothy.
Timid Timothy. It says there's a famous quote.
Imagine being like, a biblical follower of Jesus, and to this day you're still being called timid Timothy.
Well, it's better than doubting Thomas.
No, I would rather be doubting Thomas, because Thomas, when I picture doubting Thomas, I see him just as a realist.
Okay.
And he's like, come on. Hey, guys, I love Jesus. I was a disciple of him. I followed him. But come on. I watched him, you watched him, he watched him on the cross.
So you're saying like Thomas might have been American and Timothy might have been Canadian.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but where timid Timothy, actually, if anything, Thomas was the opposite of timid. Thomas was the opposite of timid, where he's like,
not afraid.
Hey, what are we all talking about
not
here?
Afraid to say.
And like Timothy, had he been there, would have been like,
yeah,
I don't really know if that's really Jesus, because I saw Jesus die.
When you're in school and the teacher tells you that, don't be afraid to say you don't get it or you don't believe it, because then I can help you.
I can help you learn
it.
Thomas was the first person to see that was Jesus.
No wrong answers.
Everyone else was like believing it.
Yeah.
But Thomas was,
right.
He got to see it. You know why? Because he spoke up.
True. And he helped all these people afterwards to not feel bad about doubting. But also Timothy helped people. Come on, it's Timothy's day. At least let him have his day.
I was trying to let him have his day until you called him timid Timothy. Timid Timothy. And then that's when I was like,
Timothy.
That's kind of a tough name to carry for 2,000 plus years.
Well, it's also tough to have a quote. 1 Timothy 5:23. So this is a letter from Paul to Timothy. And Paul says, stop drinking only water, but have a little wine for the sake of your stomach and your frequent illnesses.
Oh, poor Timothy. He was always getting, I could just like see him like following, always like sniffing.
No. Stop drinking water. Like, come on.
Man up, Timothy. Grow some hair on your chest.
So because of that, this day is they're the patrons. I don't know why Titus got pulled into it, but they're the patron saints of stomach disorders. So apparently there was something wrong with Timothy's stomach.
Oh, poor Timothy. Titus, he had to have been a tough guy.
Titus was a tough guy. He was Greek, and
his name was Titus after all.
like Paul would rile the people up with like the mean letters and the
Like, listen here.
ultimatums.
Yeah.
Titus would go in and smooth things out. I don't know.
He was a soothsayer.
Yeah.
He'd walk in after with the silver tongue and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm Greek."
Yeah.
You know those Greeks, very persuasive.
Well, I think it might have been tough too.
Tough too.
He was charged with organizing, correcting abuses, and appointing bishops. So he was
What was the first one?
Organizing the church, the words, the people. He was an organizer, peacemaker, administrator, and you can see the insights of friendship with Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians.
And so Timothy went with him.
Yeah, Timothy.
But Timothy was always played the second hand guy real well. And Paul's like, I'm doing my own thing. Timothy's like,
right.
What about me?
Right.
Here's Titus.
Yeah. I remember we just read something. It might have been a walkthrough Thursday where it was Paul and two other people. Was it them?
No.
Oh.
That was Bar.
Oh, you're right.
What was his name?
Barnabas.
Barnabas.
And Paul says, through it all, the love of Christ sustained them. You know, because they all always had trouble with money and being beat up and running out of
really
time.
Tough.
Yeah, they did.
Because they didn't have Jesus. You gotta remember that. They this is post Jesus.
Right.
You have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then those disciples that wrote about Jesus' life till his crucifixion. Paul came after,
right?
Never even meeting Jesus, but fighting as Saul,
right,
the Roman officer, fighting against Jesus's followers until he got a revelation. So he was riding solo dolo, and in an authoritative position without Jesus. Like a lot of these disciples, obviously afterwards they followed on with his mission, but they were emboldened by the fact that,
right,
do you know who we rolled with? And Paul was like, I gotta do this on my own. Not on my own though, because I got Barnabas, Timothy, Titus.
Like you said the other day about when you read the Bible, you know the outcome.
Yeah.
So you're reading it like, oh, okay, like it'll get better. But you said, and it's true, if you read it for the time frame that's happened,
if you stop it right there.
If you stop right there. And so if you look at Paul's journey, it was very much being run out of town.
Being arrested.
He was
arrested a couple times.
Timothy was with Paul in Rome during Paul's house arrest, and then Timothy himself was arrested. Hebrews 13:23.
Oh, poor Timothy.
I know.
He shouldn't have gotten arrested. They don't care about his stomach problems.
No, so prison. Stomach problems, being made fun of. All this. They don't know that in the year 2022, we're like, great job, and
still reading those letters that at the time were to ears that were not open. That were like, okay, it's Paul again. The door knockers. Right.
So they didn't know how successful they're.
Yeah, and it's an important thing. Like, and I think that's why I think there's 13 books of Paul in the Bible that we read today. Why I think it's so important is that is the clearest indication, because if you look at all the Old Testament, it's prophets and people that were in contact with God.
Yeah.
Early New Testament, it's the life of Jesus and the disciples of Jesus. And so this entire time it feels like, when's God going to come, actually walk me through this? Paul is the first time we see him going his mission the entire time, just fully based on faith.
Right.
And it was all about faith.
Right.
And then I think that's why,
and not losing the faith.
And not losing the faith. And not letting other people who aren't caring about what you're saying get you down from spreading.
Right. Discouraging him and saying, you're not wanted here.
Yeah, get out.
And
we'll arrest you.
Yeah. We did.
And let's put some respect on Timothy's name, right? Yeah. It's Timothy Day. Now, he is timid Timothy. Okay? We all know that. We all see him in the corner with his stomach issues.
Right.
But he was out there.
Yeah.
He wasn't the handsome Greek
Titus.
He wasn't Barnabas.
Yeah.
He wasn't the ex-Roman, head knocker being Saul to Paul.
No.
It was Timothy.
Yeah.
Who was still out there and still pushing, even if he wasn't in a leading role.
Right.
He was with it for his faith. And there's so many people in the Bible that can be relatable. I always say it with Christians, even now, where I'm like, I don't want to see another smiling Christian saying, like in their big old mansion, saying, life's so great if you accept Jesus Christ in your life.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it must be like, okay, you don't relate to me. When I see like someone who's real and someone who is, I can relate to this person.
Right.
And they've gone through this and they still,
yeah.
It's the books of Job and the Timothys and these people that really inspire me. Even why I like David so much is because David, I always got to talk about David. David plays both sides. He was anointed as the king. He did get in these huge battles. He fought Goliath. These things that are larger than life that you aspire, you like that attracts you. But then in the Psalms, you see all of these these problems he's dealing with, like mentally, and it's like, or just emotionally, and just like people being against him and all this, and still at his darkest moments, he's like, but I'll never lose faith. And
right.
Those are the stories that inspire me a lot more than the one of the, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm the guy.
When it's easier. Yeah, it's just like,
easy.
You talk about the gym all the time. And if someone is just genetically blessed and, has all these abilities and strengths, but it's not, unfortunately, not as inspiring as the person who had a lot of challenges.
Yeah. And
does it.
I'm on TikTok all the time. And, TikTok's algorithm puts you to what you like more. So I see like working out things. I'm always inspired by weight loss journeys more than I am bulking up journeys.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like a strong guy, I'm going to get stronger. Like, hey, look at me in a photo now. Wait for my bulk. And I follow this one guy, like 600 pounds. He's down like 300 pounds. And like you follow it from the start with TikTok where it's like, once again, it's kind of nice because in other things, like back in old times, you would see the end product. Look where I was. And this is like you're actually watching someone who you can relate, even though I'm not 600 pounds, you can relate to feeling like you're in a position where, why would I want to continue? Right. Like, why would I want to keep pushing? Like, this is
what could seem hopeless.
The big guys, I'm like, if I were you, I would be at the gym twice a day too. Look at you. So this is, this guy where it's like, I would have accepted this as my life. And then it's those things that I find more inspiring.
Yes. I do too. It is One Word Wednesday.
It's One Word Wednesday, guys. Wow, we just got caught talking about old Timothy a little too much. You know what we do. I won't drag it along, but we just pick a word. We try to find some spiritual significance in it because we live in a earthly world, but everything can be used as a metaphor. I can look at those blinds over there and say, what are the blinds in our life that are blocking out the sun? But that blinds aren't the word of the day. I'm just saying. We pick a word. It's One Word Wednesday. So, what is our word today?
Key.
Key? Ooh. A key.
All right. Key. We have keys in the Bible.
Of course we do.
We have actual keys. Like, they talk about opening the temple each morning.
Yeah.
You also have it like, what is it, metaphorically or whatever? The Lord is the key to the treasure, the keys of the kingdom, key of knowledge, key of death. So both. Yeah. Both ways is used in the Bible. And you can find that on BibleGateway.com.
Yeah.
There's just keys in life, but also, which we can talk about, the keys in life. But I guess mostly we'll also very much talk about the St. Peter. I always mix up Peter and Paul. St. Peter supposedly has the keys to heaven. St.
Peter's Basilica. Isn't that shaped like a cake?
Yes. I just found that out. And you knew that. All right. So just in the beginning, any words, not spiritually, just like, what do you think of for key? Because I have some.
I think lock.
A lock and key. Yeah, absolutely. Which a lot of keys aren't even existing anymore. Metal keys. No. The janitor's loop.
They'll probably be outdated soon. Yeah. Cars will all be push start and houses get the keypad. You don't need to hold on to
Hotels have the key card. Yeah. And
I'm not saying anytime soon, but I'm saying like the same way you ever see like an old car and they have like, it looks like a house key. Yeah. Like those old like American cars. I feel like those are going to be the new like car keys and stuff. Yeah. It's like, oh, look at that. You have an old old
absolutely. Key. People will probably collect them. Probably do right now. You can make crafts with old keys.
In Teslas, They don't even have key. They don't. You know how
Don't start me with the Tesla. I hate that card. I can never open the car.
first world problem. I can't open my Tesla.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
No, yeah, definitely outdated. But
All right. I have a key in music.
yes,
If you're off key, which is
Yes.
piano key, which also brings you to keyboard key.
keyboard key,
I think of Ben Franklin,
key in the kite,
key in the guy.
electricity.
Where do we live?
Philadelphia, ever heard of it?
No, the state
Pennsylvania,
is the
Keystone State.
Keystone State. You know what? Oh, a key to the city. You do know what a key to the city is. That's not what I was going to say.
Do whatever you want.
Do you know what the key holder does if you want to go get a job and they ask you to be key holder?
That I was a key holder at the last job.
Oh, really?
It means you're the person who opens up the store.
Yeah.
Because I was the baker, so I had to be there first. So even though I wasn't in a position to be, like usually the key holder is like a managerial position.
Okay.
It was, we're not showing up at 4:30 a.m.
No,
so
but they do need to trust the key holder.
they do. I actually still have the keys. Don't tell them.
That is not trustworthy at all. A turnkey operation. Do you know what that is?
No.
You don't? If you buy a turnkey operation, it means you don't have to do anything. Basically, they're saying like all you have to do is turn the key. And, like so, if you bought the bakery, sometimes you just buy the store or you buy. A turnkey is like everything is. You can go in and start baking. There's flour in the cabinet. A turnkey operation, and of course, famous person with the last name Key.
Alicia
Keys. You're right. That was a good one. I didn't even think of her. I thought of Keegan Michael.
Oh, that's not even Key in the name.
Keegan Michael Key.
Oh, duh.
Keegan Michael Key. Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, he went to Penn State.
No way.
Mm-hmm. In 1996. That's why you didn't know it, because you were just
Just a little baby being born.
Just a little baby.
Maybe he's my dad.
Just a little baby. And there is the geographical key, which is Key West.
Yeah.
There's a key in Ireland, in where my mom lived. It's like a body of water,
Yeah.
and that's probably where the name came from. The surname for the people who live near the Keys. And did we say basketball? No. Do you know what the key is in basketball?
Yeah, it's a part of where you shoot.
So the sentence would be, he hit another jumper from the top of the key.
Yeah, so it's like the 3-point line is like a half oval to the very top, like the very top center. Like imagine where you stand for the foul shot. Mm-hmm. Now just back up until you're behind the 3-point line.
Okay. So that's just the words key. But Vatican, the flag always has key, crossed keys and the symbols and the da-da-da-da-da. And that is because of the keys of Peter in the Bible.
Yeah.
Which, of course, were invisible. It's not a true thing.
No.
They said before Jesus ascended into heaven, he gave Peter the keys to heaven. Of course, that did not happen.
Yes.
He asked him to lead the people and build the church and so forth. And so classically, St. Peter, he's there with the clipboard, will he let you get pearly gates, that whole imagery. So what is the key then? If Peter's not holding a janitor's loopy hoop full of keys?
I'll tell you. I might sound like a broken record over here. I don't care. I'll say it every podcast till you start hearing it. The key is love. Okay? Some people might disagree. And they'll say the key is accepting Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, which I do. And
it's love to you.
Is love to me. The key could be doing this, doing that. For me, the key is love. And why? Because that is what God is. Mm-hmm. I hear myself saying it over and over, but I think...
But if it's the truth, it would bear repeating.
It would bear repeating. And, so what is the key to get into heaven? Mm-hmm. What is the key to love or life? What is it like?
Right.
There is, if heaven has a lock on it, what's the key to open it? Or what's it's living a life of love. And,
what is it locking out,
Yeah. And it's locking out hate, right? Like, I think people get so confused on the philosophy of religion when it's like, what's right, what's wrong, people live their entire life being like scared into the idea of hell, being like, what did I live a good Christian life? Did I not? And it's like, then it's hard when you're trying to be like, was that bad? I did gamble.
Right.
What if that is going to send me to hell? And it's like, I personally do not believe that is the key. I think it's, did you live a life of love outside of yourself overall?
Right.
If you did, then you have the keys in your hand. Jesus embodied love. He was God on earth, which is, God is love. I've gotten that through to y'all. Jesus is God on earth, therefore he is love. Follow me, he says.
Mm-hmm.
He says, follow me. Follow who I am. Now let's just trace it back. God is love. Jesus is God on earth. Jesus is love. Follow me. Follow love. It makes it all so simple.
Right.
And then, like you said, what is it keeping out? Without this idea, it's what people is it keeping out? What type of people are the wrong type of people? Well, I don't think there is any. I mean, if we think that we're all born as God's children, there isn't multiple gods, not in my belief. So there isn't two people that are creating humans.
Right.
So we're all humans.
Right.
So we all start at a place where we're put on earth and God wants us to get to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the question is, okay, so we're all on a level playing field now. And what is now what's going to make the tides turn? Is it this person drank alcohol? Is it this person gambled? Is it this person had pork? I don't think any of that matters so much as what is just reiterated over and over in the Bible, which is love. You lived a life of external love because we are vessels of how God sees us.
Mm-hmm.
And what is he the definition of? Is he has unconditional love for us. And it's our job to try to live like him, is to have that for each other.
Right.
To keep that hatred out. And I think that's the most important. And then, for the people that earlier, I'm like, oh, he's not taking your personal Lord and Savior. It's not that I'm saying that's not important. I think I've reiterated this before. Because I see God, or I believe Jesus is God on earth, I would choose nothing other than to be Christian.
Right.
But I am not going to sit here and say that someone who's not Christian does not have love in their heart, did not live a life of mostly love. And so therefore, they're following the same God that I am. I don't think love comes from anywhere but God. I think if you believe God is love, to say it comes from anywhere other than him is to be idolizing where is that coming from?
Right.
I believe it's all connected, right? Like, I think it's what separates us from animals.
Yeah.
And so to try to take that person's love and say that's not good enough,
right?
You're calling out God. And that's what they said. That's what Jesus says. He says, well, where am I? Look at your brother. And then, like, I'm there. Treat everyone like it's me. And why is that?
Right, of course.
Because they all have love in their hearts.
Yeah.
And it's like, for you to condemn them is you're condemning, or like, it doesn't matter what they've done. You're denying what God asked us to do. So love is the key. Final answer. Am I right?
Sure. Love is the key. I like what you're saying, because also you're making it so accessible to your own self. So it's not like, oh, we say like, lock them up and throw away the key,
Yeah.
And it's outside of yourself. How will I get out of the situation I'm in? Or how will I get into heaven? What I want to do? And is someone holding these keys? And will they deem me worthy? But like you said, we're all children of God, and we all have the ability to love. So therefore, we hold the key at all times to unlock the prison that we put ourselves in, to unlock heaven for ourselves, even on earth. When we say that our Father, you say on earth as it is in heaven.
Yes.
So the other thing I think that, older Christians, and I don't mean like boomers, I mean old Christianity teachings, is always so far in the distance. God is so far in the distance. Heaven is so far in the distance.
Yeah.
And there's really no like accountability for like the second that we're in this very moment.
Yeah.
So it's not, I hope the key will open the gate when I get there. You should be, I feel, not should, you shouldn't say should. You could
will.
be, you have the ability to be opening the keys every single day.
Every single day.
Opening the locks, rather.
In all situations. Yeah. And then it's like, that's what, if you want to live a spiritual life, it's like, what in this situation would acting on love be, and what would acting on hate be?
Right.
And spite, envy, greed, all of the 7 deadly sins you can root back to a hatred, right? And all of the positive things, charity, selflessness,
mercy,
empathy. It's all based on love.
Right.
And if you boil it down like that, you got the keys in your hand, or you have the keys accessible to you, and now you know how to get them.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what the key to my heart is.
Soup.
Tacos.
Tacos.
All right, guys, that is our podcast. You let us know down in the comments what you think the key to life is. The key to getting into heaven. No wrong answers. None. Until tomorrow, that'll be Walkthrough Thursday.
Yes.
We'll catch you. Shout out Timothy. Shout out Paul. Shout out them all. Peace.
Titus.